Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Jason, and if you've been following along, you know that I've gone through a couple iterations of my ditch lights, as well as a couple different bulbs for my fog lights. Well, I've been from the cheap end to the very expensive end, and I actually found something I think that combines the best of both worlds, and that is going to be Diode Dynamics. Sort of similar to like the Baja design, which is a lot more expensive, but this is just what I believe to be a better product. This is made in the USA. It's got an 8-year warranty, and all around I just felt the components were a lot better. Everyone I've talked to that has Diode Dynamics has really liked it, so I thought I would give it a try. So because I did like their stuff and I really enjoyed what they were doing, full disclosure, I did reach out to them and became a brand ambassador, so I will be entrenching myself into this brand and understanding as much as I can. So if you guys have any questions, ask me below and I will fill you in on really anything you need to know about these. So the reason I really like the Diode Dynamics is they put a lot of emphasis on SAE compliance, so that you can burn these while you're driving down the road in inclement weather. I didn't want to get something that would be just for off-roading because it snows a lot where I am. I mean, you can see the snow on the ground now, and yeah, I wanted to be able to run this full time. I thought it was pointless to be able to just run it off-road. So I went with the SAE compliant lights like this. So this install for these is going to be 4Runner specific, but you can get different brackets and you'll just pull down from a menu and you'll be able to find the fog pocket that fits your specific vehicle. I have already installed these in the ditch lights already, so I know that they're really great, but I want to go ahead and show you how to install these in the fog lights, and I'll kind of give a review of these because I went with the same lights in the fog as I did up here. The only difference is the lenses for these are specific for the fog lights. I did a spot and a flood combo on the ditch lights, but so far I've really liked those. So this is one of the easiest things I've really ever seen for the lighting install for off-road. All you're going to do is connect this harness here, connect this bracket here. You're going to plug this in, and then this is just going to screw in, and you're going to plug this into the factory. It's super easy. But yeah, afterwards I'll show you guys kind of what this looks like as I'm driving. But yeah, let's go ahead and get that install going. The first step you're going to do is you're going to plug this in here. That looks just like, it's going to look just like this, and then it'll go in and slide in like that. The second step is going to be this harness. So this one is specific for my vehicle. The way you're going to line that up is there's going to be a hole here, and that's going to line up with these holes here. So after you have plugged this in, you're going to take these bolts here and slide them in like that so that they are facing outwards. And then you're going to take this harness and make sure that you are lining up the long side with the long side and the short side with the short side. Now that you've done that, you've got the bolts in here. You're going to take this, put a washer over it, and slide it in like that. Now I'm just going to leave these hand tight for now because we want to get them aimed the right way and kind of fitting in there. So we'll go ahead and leave that hand tight. So now that we've gotten in there that at hand tight, we'll be able to adjust this a little bit better. Now just understand that, let's say this is facing outward, there will be a slight gap down here just so that these are not aimed directly into the eyes of oncoming traffic. It'll be aimed a little bit down. So we know this is going to be the passenger side because when we flip this over, you'll see right here the D is right side up, so that indicates that this will be on the passenger side. This one that is not done will be on the driver's side. Also note that this right here corresponds with the size 4. So you have to unbolt this. You can unbolt this one up here, and then normally there is one here, but I have that missing. So after you unbolt it, you just take a screwdriver and push it back, and then you'll take this back. and get to it that way. So the next thing we're going to do is unscrew this. We'll go ahead and turn this tire so we get it out of the way. So now we're able to get under here a lot better with this out of the way. So the next step we're going to do is go ahead and bolt these back in. This is kind of sitting here. We're going to aim this a little bit down. Just remember we left that hand tight in there so that we can aim it down a little bit so we're not blinding people when we drive down the road. So there were 2 screws that we removed. There are 4 on here, but there will only be 2 going back in. So on the outside, this one isn't gonna work. I'm gonna have to get a regular one. I think most of you guys aren't gonna have this bike tool anyway. So if you have a regular Allen wrench, you'll be able to get in there, but I'm not able to with this one. So we're gonna switch to the other side before we lose light, and I'll just tighten everything down later. But it is pretty close to how I wanna aim it a little bit down. So I'm pretty happy with how that looks on this side. So earlier we mentioned that piece, this piece right here needs to come off. We'll take this off in order to slide the passenger side in there. Once this little plastic piece comes off, I'm not putting it back on. There's really no need for it. There isn't one on the driver's side, but for the left side of the protector on this side, this little tiny one, you need something a little bit stubbier to get to it. So this is what it looks like. It's facing this way. You have to get in there, in here, in this side, and the one on top. And yeah, that's going in the trash. So on the other side, we unplugged it after we unscrewed it, but I would say because of that little plastic piece, go ahead and unplug this one first. Yeah. So the reason that we made these hand tight is so that this can move up and down. We do want to aim it down a little bit, so that is why we made these hand tight here. Like I said before, even though there are 4 of these, you're only going to screw in 2 of them in there. So I was in a little bit of a rush yesterday just because I was running out of light, but we added the gap down here. You can see there. So these headlights aren't pointed directly into people's eyes. I drove it last night. I'll show you guys some footage. I like the way this beam goes. The headlight comes out, but this even spills a little more over to the side, so you can see like really clear off to the sides. I didn't want to leave these out in this video because these are pretty similar, but if you can find a right bracket for your vehicle, then this is really worth it. It has a combination for flood and spot, and it puts out a ton of light. So even though this video is pretty heavily focused on the fog lights, I didn't want to discount this because I feel like this is something that I would definitely recommend. I've had ditch lights on my vehicle pretty much the whole time I've had it. It puts off a nice beam that kind of covers this area, whereas the headlights point forward. I believe this is a really good purchase as well. I'm hoping this is coming through how it looks, but looking in the viewfinder here, it doesn't really look like that. It's much brighter. As I'm driving down the road, I can see, you know, in front of me there's a good white light, but as soon as I look slightly outside of the tight beam of the headlights, it's basically just amber on the sides, which is really nice. This is without the fog lights here. This is with them. And here's the brights. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, guys. This is at ISO 400, 1/50, f4.0, and yeah. So if it didn't come across when I was driving, I think you guys can actually see it here. This is a pretty good beam pattern, and yeah, I'm very, very happy with this. So I actually found that it showed up better on my phone. You can see that the lights are aimed a little bit high still. I have fixed that since then. But you can tell the difference because the headlights are white and you get amber off of the fogs. So you can definitely notice that it is very, very bright.